Many people out there have been speculating on that Meghan Markle has lied about her age. Is she actually old?
Deep within the glossy, high-definition narrative of the modern British royal family, there exists a fracture, a subtle, jagged line running through the carefully curated image of the Duchess of Sussex that, once noticed, cannot be unseen. For years, the world has been captivated by what was sold as the ultimate fairy tale, the American actress who crossed the ocean, captured a prince's heart, and modernized a monarchy. But what if the greatest illusion of the last decade did not originate from the rigid protocols of Buckingham Palace, but rather from meticulous?
I'm going to quote Tom Bauer by saying, he said, look, we all laughed at Samantha and she was right. And everything she said has come.
Self-authored script of Meghan Markle herself. A growing chorus of skeptics, armed not with malice but with archival evidence, suggests that the foundation of this royal story is built on shifting sands, specifically regarding the most basic fact of human existence: age. It is a speculation that transforms the genre of the saga from a romance into a mystery thriller, posing the unsettling question of whether the woman the world watched walk down the aisle was actually the age she claimed to be, or if she was pulling off a masterclass in perception management that fooled the entire globe. For years, one persistent voice attempted to puncture the shiny veneer of the Sussex brand, a voice that was dismissively labeled as bitter, jealous, and irrelevant by a media ecosystem hungry for a perfect heroine. That voice belonged to Samantha Markle. While the global audience applauded the spectacle and scrolled past the uncomfortable critiques, Samantha remained steadfast, pointing at the structural cracks in the narrative that no one else wanted to acknowledge. The story, she insisted, simply did not add up. While tabloids and glossy magazines sold Meghan as a flawless, self-made Hollywood prodigy hitting milestones on a specific timeline, Samantha argued that the math was fundamentally broken. To her, the official age, the curated milestones, and the public biography felt less like a life lived and more like a script that had gone through too many revisions in the writer's room. Every birthday post and every turning 40 retrospective takes on a radically different complexion when you slow the tape down and truly listen to the counter-narrative. It suggests that the candles on the cake were counting the wrong number the entire time, a deliberate obfuscation wrapped in luxury branding, high-end PR polish, and designer trench coats. When Samantha first broke her silence, the public backlash was severe. She was cast as the villain in her sister's triumph. However, time has a peculiar habit of inverting narratives. As the years have rolled on, old magazine clippings, forgotten family photographs, and awkward gaps in the official timeline have begun to resurface from the depths of archives, making Samantha's so-called crazy theories appear increasingly grounded in reality. The crux of her argument was never about emotional truth, but factual consistency. She posited that what Meghan told the royal family and what she told Prince Harry could not possibly have jived with the actual chronology of her life. If the Duchess of Reinvention indeed edited her own timeline to appear younger, then the royal image she projected was not a crown, but a costume, a performance piece. The danger of such a performance is that if you pull one loose thread, like a birth year, the entire tapestry begins to unravel, because behind every perfect Instagram caption lies a draft history that the public was never meant to witness. Samantha saw a mystery wrapped in missing years and school photos that simply didn't match the ages assigned to them. She saw milestones sliding forward and backward on paper, as if Meghan's life story had been quietly retconned after the fact. When she raised questions, doors were slammed shut, but she wasn't holding on to jealousy, she was holding on to receipts. There were childhood moments where Meghan claimed to be a specific age, yet the visuals from the era told a completely different story. Family photos depicted a teenager standing in frames that didn't match the official timeline of a preteen. Samantha wasn't attacking for the sake of attention. She was connecting dots that the media refused to touch. From her perspective, this wasn't gossip, it was geometry. The numbers didn't line up, and no amount of royal polish could force the equation to balance. You can repaint the surface of a building all you want, but if the structural measurements are off, the edifice cannot hold. When Samantha finally went on record, she didn't rant. She spoke with the calm precision of someone asking for reality to matter again. Her chilling hint that if something as small and verifiable as age isn't accurate, what else is false, cracked the glossy image wide open. This doubt spread quietly, like a whisper in a crowded room that refuses to dissipate. One detail led to another, and once the first domino leaned, the rest followed with an inexorable logic. Samantha was soon joined in this skepticism by Thomas Markle, a man who never sought to be part of a mystery but was simply a proud father with a camera. Thomas had spent decades capturing birthdays, school plays, and family milestones, creating a physical archive of Meghan's life. However, when the official biographies began to surface in the wake of her royal ascent, Thomas felt a profound sense of unease. The dates in the press looked too clean, the timing almost too perfect. He remembered driving his daughter to auditions when she was clearly older than the new timeline claimed. At first, he second-guessed his own memory, wondering if the years had blurred together as they often do for parents. But the photos didn't blur. The handwritten dates on the back of developed film didn't blur. The more Thomas compared his vivid memories to the official Meghan Markle timeline splashed across Vanity Fair and People, the stranger the reality became. If the public record stated she was born in August 1981, why did family events, school transcripts, and old letters place her at an older age in the real world? This wasn't a matter of palace intrigue. It was basic arithmetic failing in real time. Thomas knew how old his daughter was when she got her first car, experienced her first heartbreak, and graduated from school. These are not moments that float randomly in a parent's mind. They are anchored to specific years. None of them matched the polished version packaged by the palace press teams. When Thomas mentioned these gaps, he was brushed off as confused or elderly, but he wasn't mixing up years. He was recalling details burned into his memory: the specific graduation outfit, a birthday dinner, a date on a Christmas card. He realized that if the woman in the press releases didn't line up with the girl he raised, then the world was being sold a rewritten story. Without intending to, Thomas realized he was holding the original script while the world watched the remake. Then came the smoking gun. Not a feeling or an opinion, but ink on paper. A March 1997 issue of 17 magazine resurfaced, listing Meghan Markle as 21 years old. This was printed, archived, and published long before she had the power to scrub the internet or manage her SEO. The implication was staggering. If Meghan was truly born in August 1981, then in the spring of 1997, she would have been a high school sophomore, barely 15 or 16 years old. She would not legally have been old enough to be featured as a 21-year-old adult model. Yet there it was in black and white. Attempts to explain this away as a typo or a different Meghan Markle faltered against the specificity of the entry. Same name, same face, same Los Angeles connection. The probability of such a coincidence is infinitesimally small. That magazine page became the first solid artifact of an alternate timeline, one that existed years before the cameras and crowns. Digital rumors can vanish, but print does not blink. It waited quietly in archives until the public was ready to look. Suddenly, two timelines stood face to face. On one side, the official record, born in 1981, clean milestones, acting breaks in her 20s, royal spotlight in her 30s. On the other side, the version described by her family and the 1997 magazine, a Meghan who was already a young adult in the mid-90s, implying a birth year closer to 1976 or 1977. This is not a minor rounding error. It is a discrepancy of 4 or 5 years, creating a completely different life story. In one version, she is 37 when her son Archie is born. In the other, she is in her early 40s. The contrast is jarring, suggesting two parallel scripts running simultaneously, one polished for the press, the other scribbled in family scrapbooks. And once you lay those ages side by side, a much larger, more medically significant question rushes into view. How do the pregnancies fit into this shifted reality? This is where the speculation transitions from biographical curiosity to medical skepticism. If the mid-70s birth year is accurate, Meghan would have been 42 or 43 when Archie was born. Pregnancies past the age of 40 are not merely older. They are classified as geriatric pregnancies, involving extra monitoring, higher risks, advanced screenings, and typically longer hospital stays. Yet, the narrative sold to the world was one of effortless, holistic ease. The pregnancy played out like a spa brochure: candles, calm smiles, flawless lighting, and zero friction. Medical professionals and observers began to point out the dissonance. Older mothers face higher risks and stricter observations, yet Meghan's experience was presented as devoid of these standard medical realities.